Hello and welcome back to another live stream on the channel. A lot has happened since the last live stream I did. We've had geopolitical tensions escalate, and that has led to a bit of a dump in markets as a whole. Oil prices have skyrocketed and risk on assets have essentially took a hit due to all of this, right? So in this live stream, I'm going to be giving you my view on all of this. I'm going to be talking about my thesis, why I believe this is just a blip in the market, and why we will start heading back up in due process or in due course. And yeah, I'm going to be talking about all of that today. So smash the likes on the stream if you're just tuning in. It's not going to be the longest live stream today. I have got a few meetings to attend after this stream with some of the bundle members, so I am going to be pretty occupied with them. But we are going to go over everything nevertheless. So Bitcoin came all the way down to around 102K on this dump. We were pretty well off previously. We were around 110K before this dump took place. And yeah, I mean, the geopolitical tensions have started to exacerbate, and this has led to a drawdown in the markets down to the 236 fib level of around 103, 102K. That's been a level I've been targeting for a long time. It's been a level I've talked to you guys about on numerous occasions, 102K. And that seems like it might have held as support. And we're already at 105.5K now. And this is really a lesson for people who haven't got experience in markets, but geopolitical events, such as escalating tensions in the Middle East, they tend to be very short-lived in their effects on markets. Obviously, it's not good. Obviously, all of this stuff is sad to hear. But at the end of the day, these are short-lived things that don't end up having long impacts on markets, okay? And we've seen this on numerous occasions. We saw this with Russia-Ukraine. The whole conflict stirred up and markets just kept on pumping, right? There was an initial scare, and then markets learned to move on and learned to be more mature. And I think the same will happen here. We even had that situation like a few months back where all the drones were sent over to Israel, and everyone thought that was going to be an apocalypse, end of times. And then it was just a bit of a fugazi. I think only 2 of the drones actually hit out of all of them, and it was just massively overblown in the media. Now, this thing does seem a bit more serious, but honestly, I think this is probably all part of the plan by Trump, and they're going to try and get some sort of deal with Iran after this, and maybe things will calm down for the short term. I'm not saying this situation will be calm for the foreseeable future, but I think there'll be some form of short-term easing of this in the news cycle, and that will allow us to go up for one final high in the market. And I'm still targeting the same levels, still targeting around that 115 to that 125K for Bitcoin. And I do believe in that region, we will see a drawdown on Bitcoin dominance, which will allow for altcoins to outperform Bitcoin. That is still my belief, despite all of this going on. So yeah, these are my current top altcoins. You can see them listed here. I actually just put Aerodrome above Say in terms of my order of preference, and Aerodrome's been doing very well lately. Let's pull up the chart for Aero. How about that? 22.5% pump on the day. Despite the whole market pretty much being red, Aerodrome has been absolutely killing it. Okay, look at that. Look at that crypto bubbles image there. You can see all the market in red, but Aero, the one coin, standing out. And there's a clear reason for this. The reason is Aero just secured a partnership with Coinbase to essentially put their DEX on Coinbase. So the Aerodrome DEX for Base will now be part of Coinbase. It's going to be functionable through Coinbase itself. So yeah, I'm really, really bullish on Aerodrome. I've been telling you guys about this for a while now. If you haven't been paying attention based off the live streams, then I don't know what to say, okay? Because I mentioned this literally every single stream now for probably months, that this one has a ton of potential and that it's undervalued. And I was saying that all the way down in the 30, 40, 50, and 60 cent region. And now we're at 67, aiming for 70 cents. And when this train truly leaves the station, it's going to be very, very parabolic, just like it was the last time it pumped, where we saw massive price appreciation on Aero. It went from 0.07 all the way up to around $2.37 in a very short period of time. Then we came back down, then we went back up. I think we're going to have a massive move up here on Aero, probably to a new all-time high in the coming weeks and months. I really wouldn't be surprised if we saw it go to around $3.60, which would be over a 5x on your money, even if you're buying right now. Okay, you got to bear in mind, people like myself, we were buying Aero way lower. We were buying it in this big red box, stacking it at 30 cents, 40 cents, 50 cents. So we're going to be up even more than a 5x, right? It's a 5 or a 6x maybe if you're buying now. If you're buying down here with me, you're probably looking at maybe like a 10x, something like that. So great returns. Been DCAing into Aero since March 2024, highs and lows as well. Bullish. Great stuff, man. Great stuff. Yeah, man. Made up for everyone who's been stacking the hell out of Aero. It's been a great one. Man, I've got really bad allergies right now. VIP member here. I'm swapping all my Casper for more Aero, Say, and Virtuals. What do you think? I wouldn't swap all of my Casper for those. Yeah, I've been very clear. I think Casper isn't the same thing as what it was a year back or a year and a half back in terms of its hype and momentum. It just isn't. It's lost a ton of that. But it's still a quality project, right? So I wouldn't fully sell it. I mean, that's on you if you do that, but I recommend around 10% or less in Casper at this point in time. I am very, very disappointed with the marketing efforts. I've got to be honest with that. I've been very, very disappointed in what they've been doing. But I still believe Casper will hit 30 cents this bull run or higher. And for that reason, I'm holding on to it. But I have reduced my allocation. I've reduced my allocation in Casper significantly. I personally think there's a bunch of coins which will probably outperform it. And yeah, it's just been a bit of a lagger for a while, but it's still a decent coin. It's still, I mean, in terms of a coin, it's one of the greatest, right? In terms of an actual project, the tech, the scalability for proof of work and all of that. But just the direction of the marketing, I'm not happy with. No tier 1 listings, even still. I mean, we're closer to 2026 than we are 2025, and there's still no tier 1 listings for Casper. And then you get into the whole Twitter thing. I mean, what are they doing with their X account? That X account could be put to much better use. The name is Casper City with a lowercase c. I don't know what the hell that is, trying to be smart, and it's just backfiring. And then, only now they're starting to post things, but they're only retweeting other people's stuff, right? They're only retweeting other people's stuff. They're not actually posting stuff themselves, really. And when they do, it's just stupid stuff, right? So I really think this X account needs to be passed on to someone else. It's really not valuable. It's really not helping Casper. It's not educating people about Casper. And the name absolutely sucks. It's just a stupid, stupid name. So they've got a lot of questions to answer for at Casper right now. I'm bullish on it. Like I've said, I'm not selling my whole bag, but I am thinking that there's better options elsewhere to make more money with probably quite safe returns. And Sui is clearly one of them. So, yeah, just a real shame, man. This project has so much potential, and it just seems like the people behind it are doing everything they can to prevent that. No tier ones, stupid X posts. So it's just a bit of a shame. But anyway, Sui around $3. I think that's a great price to get. If you've got no Sui, $3 is a good target to stack some. Yeah, the Casper X account drama is not helping. They're talking more about what they're going to do with the X account than actually educating people about Casper and promoting Casper itself. So it's just not helpful. I agree. What are my thoughts on Say right now? I'm bullish on Say. I think it's going to do very well. I actually think picking up some Say around here is not a bad idea. You know, right now, a lot of coins, they are falling down below their golden pockets. But the thing is, we've still got another couple of days until the weekly close. The weekly close would be on Sunday night. We've still got some time until then. If we can push up on the weekly close and close in the golden pocket or above the golden pocket, then that would essentially validate it as very strong support and probably allow us to move up for another leg higher, right? But it's been quite brutal for Say the past few weeks now. You know, it had a really nice bounce up to 27 cents, and then we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive red candles. But this is still, it's such a solid layer one. I mean, I think it's the fastest EVM layer one out there. They raised a ton of money from VCs, and it's an actual infrastructural layer one. Like, they're doing things that actually improve financial systems, right? So it might not be flashy. It might not, tie into memes too much or NFTs too much or stuff like that, but it certainly is a chain with use case. So I think it's going to do good things. It's got big backers, Trump and his World Liberty Financial, they've been buying it. So I still believe in Say, and I think it's a decent buy right now, actually. I started buying Arrow too high, but been buying the dip, so have 20,000 Arrow at 79 cents average, 4x possible. Yeah, man. From your average, I think a 4x is possible. I mean, let's pull up the chart again for Arrow because it keeps pumping, which is great. Great for all of us who've been stacking it, but your average is around 79 cents, so it's a little bit higher than where we are right now. Let's just calculate this. 79 cents. Here we are. Can you get a 4x? So 4x would be 300%. Let's just work this out. Yeah, you can definitely get a 4x. You could probably get more like a 4.6x, to be honest, if your average is 79 cents. But I would be taking profits on the way up regardless, because yes, it can go higher, but you should probably be taking profits in this region regardless, right? Because it's a lot higher than where we are right now. Didn't like my question? I didn't even read your question. What was your question? What was your question? Maybe sometimes I click on questions and then they're just too long. So I just skip past them, right? Because I prefer shorter questions, but I didn't actually read it. I just look at how many letters there are and then skip past them like automatically. So we keep the stream rolling. But your question is on, Say, do I think the unlock on June 15th will affect the price? Let's take a look. Crypto rank. Go on Say. Vesting. The unlock on June 15th 1% of the supply? Nah, bro, I don't think a 1% unlock's gonna make much difference, I gotta be honest. Doesn't bother me. Price target for Morpho? I think Morpho can 5 to 15x. Optimism just made a new low. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the layer 2s, man, they just haven't performed well. The only layer 2 I'm betting on is Aerodrome. I thought in the past Optimism could do well, but yeah, I hold no layer 2s on Ethereum. Like, no scaling solutions for Ethereum. Like, I hold coins on Ethereum, but I don't hold layer 2 scaling solutions like Optimism, Matic, coins like that. I think the only I think Base is just going to get more and more and more of the market share for the layer 2 market on Ethereum. And that's why I'm betting on Aerodrome, because Base is the clear winner. Why is Aptos performing so bad? Didn't the founders step down of Aptos? Maybe that's why. I swear one of the guys behind it stepped down. Do I think base memes will explode now? I'm bullish on base memes. I'm bullish. It would be one of the categories of memes which I would be most favorable to. So yeah, I'm super bullish on base in general. So I've got a ton of virtuals. I bought this one at like 50 cents. So we're up a ton on virtuals. VIPs are printing on that one. So make sure you're in the VIP so you don't miss the next alert. I got a ton of Aerodrome down in the 30, 40, 50 cent region. I was stacking this one. So we're up a lot on this as well. Super bullish on Aero. That is the DeFi hub for base. So you've got AI with virtuals. And then with Aero, you've got DeFi or just the DEX, right? And then you've got memes. And for memes, there's one obvious choice when it comes to base. Okay, there's one obvious choice, and that obvious choice would be Brett. Brett would be my obvious choice for base. And then for borrowing and lending, you've got Morpho. That would be my obvious choice for borrowing and lending. But Brett would be the one for memes. I think, honestly, Brett could 10x. It's possible. I think it's certainly possible that Brett could 10x. It's at 4 cents right now. It's moving up a little bit on the hourly here. Brett had a pretty big sell-off. I think Brett was down 20% actually on the day during this big dump. So Brett's not a bad meme to be stacking here. Again, it's another one of these coins where it's kind of looking like it's falling down below the golden pocket. But provided it gets some form of a bounce in the coming days, then it could survive a potential retest of lower prices. It all depends on this macro, well, not macro, on this geopolitical situation, right? Iran are going to retaliate. The question is it going to be another one of these retaliations like what it did last time, where it just sends all these drones and the Iron Dome basically defends 99% of them? Or is it going to be an actual serious retaliation? I would be more likely to believe that it would be less of a serious retaliation and more of a softer retaliation. Not because Iran want to, but probably because Iran can't do a serious retaliation. Like, they're not in a position right now to do that. They've been severely weakened. And I just think it would kind of be like, cutting off your nose to spite your face. If they were to go and do a super serious retaliation here, it would probably backfire on them more than it would benefit. So it might just be another one of these posturing moves where they, send out all these drones. Everyone thinks it's going to be really scary, and then it just kind of underwhelms. And we get a pump out of that. So it just really depends, how much of a big retaliation they give. And if it's not a big retaliation tonight or tomorrow, whenever they do it, then I expect markets to continue pumping to the upside. This really hasn't impacted the stock market too badly. The US S&P 500 is only down 0.4%. 0.4%. This is not a black swan. This is not something that is really scaring markets too much, okay? Yes, it's driving up the price of oil, but it's not too bad for markets. Like even the Nasdaq down 0.4%. I mean, let's take a look at some of the names in the stock market. How's Tesla doing? I mean, Tesla's up today. So Tesla's up almost 2% today. What about Meta? Meta down slightly, basically break even. What about Amazon? Amazon is up today. Did you guys hear about the news of Amazon as well? They are going to be coming out with a stable coin. Was it Amazon and Walmart? Were they the two companies that were doing that? Coming out of a stable coin. That is pretty good news. Pretty good news for crypto. I bought 500k Say the other day, then panicked and swapped 400k into Arrow. Lost a lot in transactions, but hoping this was wise. I mean, it played off, right? Because Arrow has pumped more. But right now, I think both Arrow and Say are both buys right now. So I would have both. I mean, look at Arrow, man. This one's been killing it. And I was telling everyone on these streams lately, Arrow is the one to buy. Arrow is the one to buy. I literally even put 3 asterisks next to it to emphasize this was the coin to stack. And look at it now, right? It's literally the biggest gainer in the market right now. Absolutely exploding. Arrow is going to be in the top 100 soon. Arrow is going to be in the top 100 soon. And if it was, it would be by far the biggest gainer in the top 100 if it was. Let's look at the coins in the top 200. Look at that. Out of all the coins in the top 200, Arrow is the biggest gainer. I need to take a screenshot of that because this just shows how good my calls are. This just shows how spot on we've been on this channel. And the VIPs are pretty grateful right now with the Arrow call because I was doubling down on that every single day. But yeah, man, look at that. These are the top gainers on the day in the entire market. And out of all the coins in the top 200, Arrow is the top gainer. Out of 200 different coins, we managed to pick the one that would be the best performing. So if you were stacking Arrow, give yourself a pat on the back. I mean, it's just the beginning, obviously, but you know, it's really great when the whole market's dumping and one of the coins you're in is absolutely sending it. It's a really, really nice feeling. And that is exactly the feeling that we have with Aerodrome. So great stuff, man. Great stuff. 23% up on the day. Can't complain at that. So let me just take a screenshot of this just to show people how much of a clear outperformer Arrow is right now. And this is the thing, guys. Like DeFi projects, as boring as they can be sometimes, they always do well in the market. Every bull run DeFi projects have done well because they have a clear understood use case, right? It's a DEX. I mean, it's a DEX for base. Everyone kind of understands that. And now they've got a partnership with Coinbase. It's only going to have more adoption. So yeah, Eric Wallen, I would get some Say and some Arrow. I would make sure I've got both. I wouldn't be all in on one and ignore the other. But yeah, super happy about that. Hopefully people were paying attention, man. Yeah, had to get the screenshot. Yeah, we need proof. I like to collect sometimes the evidence of how well we do compared to the rest of the market. You know? I like to do that. So Aero is the top gainer. I reckon it might even be the top gainer in the top 300. Because if it's that obvious that it's this big of a gainer in the top 200, imagine. Let's see. Can we show top 500? I mean, that it might not be the biggest gainer in the top 500 because that includes loads of shitcoins, right? Man, even in the top 500, it's the biggest gainer. Even in the top 500 coins, this thing's the biggest gainer. Guys, let me know. Did you buy Aerodrome? When I was talking about it, did you pick any Aerodrome up? In the 30-cent region, 40 cent, 50 cent, 60, whenever it was, did you buy any Aero? And let me know which price you were buying in the chat. Super curious to see whether you guys are actually stacking it or not. Because sometimes people watch the streams, right? And they don't actually buy. They listen to me say how good Aerodrome is, and then they don't actually get any. So you got all these different coins here. Nero, freaking memes. Aero is just crushing it, destroying all of them out of the park. Zach got some Aero at 31 cents. Nice, man. I was stacking some in the 30-cent region as well. 30 to 50. Yep, exactly. That was the buy zone, right? I outlined in this chart 50 to 30 as the buy zone. This big red box, I said this is where you go all in on Aero. And look at it now. You know, we're getting rewarded for our patience and our conviction. I bought $21,000 of Aero at 45 cents. Congrats, man. That's good stuff. Super happy for you. You're reaping those rewards now, man. $1,000 at 50 cents. That's still good, man. Congrats. Yeah, the Aero chart looks magnificent in the rubble of the rest. Exactly. It kind of reminds me of back in the day when Casper used to outperform the rest of the market. Now it's Aerodrome doing it, right? But I wouldn't be selling any large amounts of my Aero until we get at least to like almost these all-time highs, right? Which is still quite a long way away. So I'm probably not going to sell much, if any, of my Aero until we get another like 3 or 4x. Which is going to be magnificent gains. Because I went in heavy on Aero. Aero was a coin I went in with conviction. I didn't just get a tiny little bag. I went in with some conviction. Bought some Say on the dip, though. Yep, Say's a good one to buy as well right now. I don't necessarily agree, certified, that the macro structure has now flipped bearish. I don't know if I fully agree with that. I still think we're very much in a bullish uptrend, but I think it's getting close to the end. That's what I think. I mean, yes, there's kind of like a bearish divergence maybe about to form on the RSI, but Bitcoin can keep going up while the RSI drops. I mean, that almost always happens on the final leg up of a bull run. You have a bearish divergence formed. So it's possible that kind of into July, like I've been saying for a while, Bitcoin runs to the trend line, kind of finds some resistance at like 116, 117, 115, something like that, while the RSI is maybe trending down, and that could be either a local top or a cyclical top. We'd have to wait and see and determine that obviously later, but I would be taking profits on that event personally. And if you want to know exactly when I'm taking profits to the T, exactly how much I'm taking out of a coin, what my plan is, get yourself on over to the VIP group. This group is active all the time, and I post my exact buy and sells in the group in real time the second I do it. So you're not going to miss any of my trades, right? You're going to get in on all of them in time. And I have a very good success rate. I mean, I'm not right every single time, got to be honest, but a large degree of the time I am right, and you can, benefit yourself off some of those calls. So someone just said in my VIP, Iran is attacking. So this is why like the VIP group comes in really, really handy, right? Because you're going to get all this information in real time because there's so many members. People will be sharing the news events and the insights in real time. So I don't know if this is true. Early warning. Look, like Jerusalem, loads of places are getting alerts. So let's just see if this is actually going on right now. If there is some sort of retaliation about to occur. Remember, in the Middle East, it is dark right now. And they tend to do these types of attacks as the sun sets, right, at nighttime. So okay, let's read this. So it says here, ballistic missile launched to Israel from Yemen. Sirens are sounding across southern Jerusalem and West Bank settlements as a missile from Yemen targets Israel. The IDF confirms it is attempting to intercept the projectile. Dozens of towns, including Beit, I can't pronounce any of those, they're all under attack. To be completely honest, though, Yemen sends missiles regularly. Source, Times of Israel. Okay. So yeah, this is like an ongoing story, right? I mean, it's all escalating right now, but I think markets have matured a little bit to geopolitical tensions. At one point, this would have really, really scared the markets, and maybe Bitcoin would be below 100K right now. But you know, they've matured to understand that these are all part of what's going on in this uncertain world that we live in right now, and they've kind of priced a lot of it in. So we're getting updates constantly here. Eight minutes ago, Israel strikes at heart of Iran's nuke program. I don't know if that's an update or if that's just a live stream. Let's see. Just want to make sure if anything's going on right now, just so I can update you guys. Yeah, so there's this guy who quite often posts like updates. Not getting anything from him. Yeah, so Trump said himself, Israel's attack could help me get a deal with Iran. So I think this was potentially all a plan all along to try and like push Iran into a position where they need to get a deal, where they kind of back down. But I don't know if they will back down. We'll have to wait and see. Trump said we knew everything about Israel's strike on Iran. I tried to save Iran humiliation and death. Okay, so Trump's basically saying, you know, he knew all along. It's obvious that that was the case. They're obviously going to tell Trump before they do it. But yeah, I honestly just think this is all normal now at this point. Like, this is the world we live in at this point now, and markets are kind of getting used to it. I mean, Bitcoin's at 105K despite this news. Yes, it was a bit higher yesterday, but it's still not in an awful position. I think we're still looking ready for another leg up, and this is all just a little hurdle in the way. You know, you get obstacles along the way. It's not going to be a straight up easy path. You're going to have hurdles along the way that slow down some progress, and that's what's happening right now. But guys, smash a like on the stream. Is this a live stream only for VIP members? No, this is not a VIP live stream. This is a public live stream. If you want your questions, answered, like with 100% guarantee, I recommend either joining the mentor tier, where you can actually DM me and reach out to me and get your questions answered there, or I recommend joining the VIP and going on one of the voice calls or the occasional VIP live streams that I do. You could get your questions answered there. So there's no guarantee that free viewers get all their questions answered. There's 300 people watching this across YouTube and Twitter combined. There's no way I'm going to be able to answer every single person's question. Just curious, how old are you? I'm 21. 21. Just turned 21 a few weeks ago. Been in crypto since I was like 13 or 14. Like as long as I can remember, I've been in this game. At high school. But yeah. I'm a young guy. Casper price prediction. I mean, right now it's looking pretty bleak, so I'm not going to say anything high. They need to get a grip with their marketing. They need to fix their Twitter account. They need to get tier ones. There's an awful lot of questions right now with Casper and not an awful lot of answers. But as always, I have to give the disclaimer, it is still a great piece of technology. As a layer 1, there's not really anything like it. But this chart structure I'm seeing, I do not like at all for Casper. So I stand by it. If Casper hits 30 cents, I would probably be mostly out of this of this coin. But I think it could potentially, in a best case scenario, get to 70 cents. Anything over 70 cents, I give as highly unlikely. So 10x absolute maximum. $21. Holy shit, I'm 25. Barely getting started, but no better time to start than now. Yeah, exactly, right? The best time to plant a tree was however many years ago. The second best time is now. I mean, it's never too late. I'm 25, still young, bro. So, you know, you could be in a great position by the time you're 26, 27 if you really study this game. I just obsessed over making money from a very young age, and that's how I managed to essentially become a millionaire at the age of 18, right? So that's how it was for me. Obviously, not everyone can do that, or I believe everyone can do that, but not everyone does. But it's never too late, man. It's never too late. But yeah, Sui around $3, I think, is a great buy if you can pick that up. Especially if you've got no Sui. I've already got my bags very well packed from way below $1. But if you haven't got any, this is a decent entry, I've got to be honest. For a kind of safe haven in your portfolio, Sui would be the best one. Besides Bitcoin, obviously, or Ethereum. But Bitcoin and Ethereum aren't going to do the type of gains that Sui could do. But yeah, guys, I have to wrap up this stream now. I've got a call with a bundle member planned, so I've got to obviously attend that call. So I'm looking forward to that. We're going to go through his portfolio and all of his goals and exit strategy and all that stuff. So I'm looking forward to that call. If you guys want to hear more from myself and you want to get my kind of real-time buy and sell alerts, the second I buy a coin, you can find out. You'll be notified. Check out the link in the description and sign up to the VIP group. You gain access to the Discord group, which is active all the time. People posting updates about, you know, the geopolitical tensions, people posting updates about different coins. And we have voice chats every single day. So I was in the voice chat earlier for a couple of hours talking to the members about the markets. You know, these guys hear it first in the group. I was talking about this whole geopolitical thing with these guys hours ago, right? So as it's happening, you're getting real-time updates. You're able to talk to me on voice chats. There's a ton of value in here, guys. So check it out. Just join for a month. You can always cancel. It's an absolute no-brainer to at least trial it. Very, very, very few people actually cancel because of the value of the group and the fact they make a ton of money if they stick with it. So check it out, guys. Appreciate you all watching. Have a great rest of your day. Smash a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video or live stream. Goodbye.